Hello, and welcome back to Let Supreme Ghost Thief 2. We are playing Mission 3, Framed, today. So going back and forth between T2X and Thief 2. I'm going to try to keep to the same number in each of those campaigns, so I'm not sure which one I'll do first next time, but I have been interrupted a little bit with the newest contest, the 1 million units contest. I actually was able to play all the missions in that contest, and there were quite a few that were pretty good. So I'm going to see if I choose to play any of those on my channel here. A couple of them are definitely worthy in terms of the quality. But that contest is only like 2 weeks in, a week and a half, 2 weeks in at this time. So I don't want to put those missions on my channel yet, not to give any people spoilers there. So we are playing Framed today, and I'm actually playing on a new computer on a laptop. So I'm not sure if you guys can tell the difference. If you can, let me know either way, if it looks better or worse. And I've also gotten a few viewers telling me that the videos on their end turn out pretty dark. So I have deliberately chosen to increase the gamma, the brightness a little bit for this video. So let me know how that turns out. I always play with the brightness level that I feel is most comfortable for my viewing experience. And I haven't had but 3 or 4 different viewers tell me that it looks very dark. It is obviously supposed to be a dark game, and I do not suggest that you watch my videos in a brightly lit room. Then it's going to turn out very difficult to see. But yeah, let me know if you can spot any difference there, and whether you think this is good or bad. Enough chatter. Let's go to the save game from shipping and receiving and watch the briefing.
Last night, an unusual opportunity knocked on my door. Naturally, I was a little suspicious, but my visitor said the job was too sensitive to go through the usual channels. He claimed that an old contact of mine told him where to find me. I was about to ask him who our mutual friend was when he managed to distract me. The job is to break into Shoalsgate Station, headquarters of the City Watch, and quietly frame a certain Lieutenant Hagen for robbing the evidence vault. Hagen is Sheriff Truart's number 2 man, and has no doubt made life difficult for someone he shouldn't have. My unusually resourceful employer has given me all the information I need to pull this off, including a very detailed map of the building. All I have to do is choose a way in, plan my route, and get back out, without alerting the bulls. I realize that breaking into Shoalsgate is like looking down a burrick's mouth with a lit match, but it would pay me enough to lay low for a while, and it doesn't hurt to be giving the police some dirty laundry to deal with either. Besides, with my luck, if I don't take this job, I could end up in there anyway.
There we go. So, no secret that this is not my favorite mission in the campaign. It was very, very low on my list before I started practicing for this run. And the mission has improved in my mind a little bit. I've stepped back a little bit and looked at the story and tried to think about when this was released, this mission. I don't think this mission has aged very well. So since we're breaking into a police station, that would have been done very differently by fans or by the Looking Glass today, I think, than this mission does it. But it works pretty well for the time being. I really enjoy the story, the readables, and the insight we get into the workings of the city, especially in terms of the City Watch and potential corruption within, and how this starts the spiral down to the mechanists. So I do appreciate that, and it's kind of a cool concept to break into a police station and to frame a lieutenant. That's not something that really I would imagine Garrett to do, but it works for this mission. So one of the reasons why this mission is not high on my list is because it's very easy. However, I'm going to put a couple of extra challenges on myself today. One is that which I always do, to limit lockpicks. So there are 2 locks that we can avoid picking that is going to force our trip around the police station a little bit differently. And then I'm also going to try to get all the secrets. So I'm going to try to use all the secrets when I'm moving through the mission. There is also one thing. We have to find a code in the evidence room, or in the secure records room rather, for the vault. So once you know that code, of course you don't have to visit the secure records room, but I'm going to do that just as the sake of the story. So we're going to have to go up there before we go to the vault. So that will also force our direction and our route a little bit differently. So let's go through our objectives real quick. The mechanists have installed an alarm mechanism in Shoalsgate Station that can be triggered by either mechanical eyes or the guards. The mechanical eyes, of course, are the cameras. Don't let them set off the alarm. The frame won't stick if the City Watch suspects you were involved. Don't knock out or kill anyone. Go to Lieutenant Hagen's office and grab a personal item of his to be used for framing him. Drop the personal item in the vault on the 3rd floor, steal the strongbox from the vault, and leave it in Lieutenant Hagen's office. Leave Shoalsgate Station. So, there are a few things that we have to pick up and put in the vault, and then return items, and we have to return keys for Supreme Ghost as well. So there are a few things we have to do in order to make sure we check all those boxes for Supreme Ghost. This mission is perfect Supreme Ghostable. There is one debatable area towards the end when we are heading into the vault that I'll discuss once we get there. And if you've seen other videos of this mission being ghosted before, you might know about it. But we'll discuss that once we get to it. Okay. So there is a tip that we can buy. I'm not going to do that. But you can obviously do that and read that on your own. It basically says that there are a lot of hidden entrances, hidden secrets scattered throughout. I think that's primarily what it's focusing on. And a few needless hints that if you've played the mission before, you don't have any use for. If you are ghosting, then I would maybe suggest buying another rope arrow or something like that. And maybe a couple of moss arrows and water arrows, but you have 3 and 10 of those already. So there's no need to really buy anything here, but of course when you ghost, you can always buy those and use those. We can't since we're Supreme Ghosting. Let's play the mission and make a real save to begin with, and a quick save. And look at our map. So the briefing said that the map was very detailed, and it is, which is nice. But it also makes the mission a little bit easier. So since the objective not to knock out or kill anyone is included, it means that it's forced ghosting, which means that the mission has been made with the knowledge that the player cannot knock anybody out. So that usually decreases the challenge in the mission, and that is what this mission suffers from, I think. Like I said, I have increased the score after this playthrough, or this time, than I did last time. So it's increased in quality in my book, but the ghosting does not, the forced ghosting does not usually bode well for a mission's challenge. So we start right here, south of the Shoalsgate Utility Building, which is this one. This is the way that we have to get into the station underground through some sewage system or canal system. There's one building that we can get into first here, but this is the main entrance that has a camera that we cannot pass. There's no other way to get around here. Maybe there is, but I'm not going to use that. But you'll have to climb over the walls if that. So inside the station, we have a basement that has a prison system. If you watched my recent video of the alpha version of COSAS 4 switching rails, then of course they used some of this mission as part of that map. So a recent video showed this area, the jail area, where there's an interrogation room that we can't get into. There is a cave system that connects to a maintenance room over here. So there are two main areas that you can get up to the first floor. The problem is that there is a pickable door here that we don't have to pick, so we're going to ascend to the first floor this way. There's a morgue and a lab, so this area here we're not going to be able to get to once we enter the basement, so we're going to have to come down there from a different direction. Then we have the first floor, so you get up from the basement here or here. Those are the two stairs that I showed you. There's a lot of rooms here, a lot of different places to visit, but the central area of the station has an outside courtyard in the middle. So it's sort of a circular area around that. There's a main office area here with a lot of cubicles and desks. The barracks is down here with a locker room, and you have the main entrance would lead you into this area with guards. There's nothing really to do there. There's a training room over here and a front desk area that we're going to visit pretty early. Then you have the mess hall or the dining quarters for the guards here. There is a dumbwaiter that you can take up and down in this location, and a couple of other rooms including the armory in the top here. The second floor is smaller, and that has all of the offices for the lieutenants and the people in charge. So here you can see Lieutenant Mosley's office and Lieutenant Hagen's office. Those two are going to be important. And we're going to need to pick up something from either of those locations before we go to our main objective. Sheriff Truart's office is also here, and this door is the other door that is pickable that we don't need to pick. So we're going to have to do something there to circumvent having to pick that. And from the Warden Affairs office there is an entrance up to the third floor. There's also an officer's lounge. This is where the dumbwaiter takes you up and down. And there's a waiting room and a few other staircases up and down here that are heavily guarded. So we're going to have to stay away from those. This is showing the secure records room in a different location. It's the records hall. And to get in there you need a key from Lieutenant Mosley's office. And that's where we can find the code for the vault. So we're going to have to go to Mosley's before we go to the secure records room. And this is the third floor. This is the evidence storage. So you can get up there in two different ways, through the main staircase or up to this room in the far southeast. So this is where there's a lot of security. It says vault security. You'll need a code to shut off the mechanical guards. And in the vault you should be able to find a key to the vault in one of the lieutenant's office. And vault ante room. Grab a key from a guard to get in. You can get a key from a guard that patrols here, so that's easy enough. Okay, so I will go back to the map a couple of times as we keep playing. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're moving west here. You probably all know about it, but I'll show you. You can actually, I think, mantle up here. Thought you could in New Dark, but maybe not. Let's throw a scouting orb up there. You can see the dancing zombies in the back here. It's a little Easter egg. Okay, so this is the door then to the maintenance or the utility building. So we're not going to go there right now. Peek around this corner here. You have the first camera. Don't think it can see us from this far back. No. In here you have 2 water arrows, if you're interested in that. And this is a restaurant right here. We're going to have to pick the lock on that door because there's loot inside. Again, I'm not sure if that camera can see us through the door, but window, rather. In here is a bottle of wine.
Ah, my favorite year.
Worth 50, and a stack of gold coins worth 25. So I don't like to pick locks if I don't have to. You guys probably know that. But to take loot, I will do so. There's nothing to pick up in here. Okay, so here we have to close this hatch on our way down, because there's no way that we can do that once we return. Good. Now we gotta swim. So in each of these areas, so now we are moving our way through the drainage system to the basement. We're gonna actually come out here right underneath the main entrance. You can hear the camera. Head down here. I'm gonna close this. Got to surface for air a couple of times here. What sounds like haunts? Okay. So here is a well, it looks like. This is one way you can actually ascend, and that will get you up to the main courtyard. There's a well right here. Here we have a couple of flares. So this is the eastern entrance. This takes us to the prison. So here's our first secret. So we are now in the, we went through this area, we're now in the prison area. So that there are two doors here that are both pickable that we don't need to pick, because there's no loot and no objectives down here. There is through that door, but that we can get through another way. Save it there. I want to get the secret count, but I don't want to get the lockpicks. Why is that a big deal to me, you might ask? Well, to me, picking a lock that you don't have to, especially one that you can't relock, is the same as forgetting to relock a door if you have a key for it. To me. It isn't instructed in the Supreme rules to do that, but to me it would, in my mind, it busts Supreme just as much. So even though it following the rules wouldn't, I always avoid that. Let's read this. I've ordered that murderer Schmidt be left in solitary to rot, and that no one venture near him. I want him to suffer as much as his victims did. Lieutenant Hagen. Okay. So here there's a couple of devices that open the gates. That opens the door. And that opens the gates on the inside. And listen to a conversation here. Interrogation.
You guys can't treat me like this! I'm a veteran!
Yeah, I bet that's where you learn to pickpocket so well.
When I got back, my family was gone. I had no money to live.
Sure. Tell it to the sheriff. He's got a real soft spot for war heroes.
Okay, so you can't get in there. It's not pickable and it's locked. I'm not sure if that was Schmidt or what it was. I don't think so. 3 flares here. And this is the prison. There is a haunt ghost that goes through here, but he doesn't alert us, so. There's a couple of comments that some of the prisoners make that I wanted to trigger.
Life stinks and then you die. Then life goes on without you. I'll never get out of this stinking hole. But why would I want to? Life's no good anymore for an old codger.
Alright. I think Garrett will give a cue here.
Yeah.
And so they say to me, let us out! Let us out! We're all going to die in here!
That might have been Schmidt instead.
There's no law in the city anymore. No justice. Just the strong abusing the weak. Shame on us. We let our fair city down. She's ruined and we're doomed.
I like these little monologues they have here.
I like the dog. Dog for dog business. That business in the city.
Okay, that's it. Nothing else down here. So we're gonna reload. So that we don't have to pick those locks. We're instead gonna take the other way. Just here. There's a water arrow here. I think there's 2 water arrows actually. Or maybe 3 even. There's one. There's statue that we want. I think there's 3 water arrows on the way here if you want to pick those up. There was a statue worth 15, total 90. Okay. Here is our second secret, and that is operated by this one. So if you flip this, the torch goes back too. So now we have moved into the maintenance room in the basement. Listen to another conversation. Let's make a real save here.
How come we gotta pull guard duty? Couldn't the mechanist just put more of those mechanical eyes around the place?
Because we can't be shut off as easily, you taffer.
Oh! At least it's better than sitting watch for the downwinders.
Damn right. No smell of sewage, no mildew, fewer rats.
You ever wonder why Truart hired us?
Not really. Probably figured we'd spend less time breaking the law since we'd be enforcing it. Gold is gold. Don't matter if it's coming from Reuben or Sheriff Truart.
So that's an interesting conversation because it shows that Sheriff Truart has now hired people that are criminals. Probably to remove the criminals from the streets, but also to pay them less, and they don't ask as many questions maybe. Conference room. So that is actually here, so we're heading down south here. Listen to another conversation here actually.
Okay, let's take it from the top. What happened?
Well, my servant Genevieve is missing. Now, she had no reason to run away. I treated her like my own daughter. Who will take care of me now?
Ma'am, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you're drifting off the subject again. Just stick to the facts, please.
Are you going to help me or not? I'll have you know, I am a personal friend of Father Karras. He has a great deal of influence, you know. Where do you think all your fancy new devices came from? I doubt he would be pleased to find out you are neglecting to help one of his friends.
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of your problem as quickly as I can. The sooner we're done here, the sooner we can start looking for your servant. Why don't you calm down and collect yourself while I go over what we have so far?
I'm sorry, officer. Thank you.
Okay, so this must be Lady Rumford from running interference. In here. Pair of glasses. Total 140. And then we're gonna have to go past here. They can't see you through the window here. Front office. Here is a conversation that I'm going to listen to, but I don't want to trigger it for the actual mission because it leads to an extra patroller. So let's just listen to it right away.
The Watcher is ready and operational. Now 'twill activate the alarm whenever an intruder doth approach.
How does it know the difference between us and an intruder?
To find the answer to that question, thou must attend the Mechanist Seminary and join our order. The wisdom of Kareth is not for the eyes of the common man.
What about maintenance for all these contraptions?
Thy sheriff did insist that all information for thy security systems be left in the care of Lieutenant Hagen. Instructions are locked in thy secure records area.
What secure area?
The sheriff requested us to construct a records hall that only he and his lieutenants may view. 'Tis no doubt to keep them from the eyes of incompetents such as thee.
Great. I like that conversation. So this guard right here starts patrolling. Or is this the Mechanist? Yeah, this is the Mechanist that was talking. So we learned a couple of things from that conversation. One, oh, there are two patrollers. Okay, well then we're definitely going to that the Mechanists have a seminary that we could maybe visit, and we are going to visit that later on. The second thing is that there is a secure records room that I talked about earlier, but we get that revealed here, that only Truart and his lieutenants have access to. That's why we have to access the lieutenant's offices and his Truart's office on the second floor before we go here. So that's that should give us more information on the cameras or the mechanical eyes. So I'm going to go back here and skip this one. Here's a letter. Attention to all watch officers. In a short time, we have nearly cleared the city of the criminal element that has plagued her for so long. I thank each and every one of you for the effort and initiative that you have displayed. Now we must direct the same form of hard justice toward another disease in the city, the pagans. We cannot allow these subversives to poison the minds of our fair citizens. Henceforth, the pagan faith is outlawed, and practitioners of paganism shall be considered enemies of the city. Be it so ordered, Sheriff Gorman Truart. So this is path down part of the story here. Truart is not a pagan sympathizer, and he has made paganism a criminal act to follow that belief. Here is a water dispenser with 6 water arrows. And then we have a secret here. There's a button under the panel. There are 4 stacks of gold coins. We cannot close that panel. At least I don't think we can. No, we cannot. There's nothing else in here, so head back. Let's see. So we are going to head down to the training room right now in order to visit Truart's office right away. Let's see. Don't think we're safe here.
Hey,
we are safe here, so we're going to have to dodge him a little bit differently. He heard that, okay. Can't take any first alerts, remember that.
Sure, it's just as bad as those bloody
Gonna head in here. So this is the training room. Back here's a rope arrow, so that is sort of a hint here. And then there's another secret. Don't think anyone heard that. So that was the secret that opened here. I believe there's another secret here. No, that doesn't count as a secret.
Not so secret anymore, is it?
But it's the entrance up to Truart's office here. On his mantelpiece is a plate and a vase. Total 350. I'm gonna have to turn on the light here just a second. There. And we're gonna end up taking 3 stacks of gold coins here, total 425. And there are a few readables. Let's read his journal first. Journal entry 684. Mosley is becoming an inconvenience. Lately she has been questioning my orders, and her conduct regarding the pagans borders on insubordination. She was always my best officer before. Why the sudden change? I'm going to give her one more chance to redeem herself. If she fails me again, I'll have to give the case to Hagen. He may not be as good an officer, but he is loyal and vicious. Not the sort to have any moral dilemmas with this kind of assignment. What really puzzles me is that she wants the case so badly. The last time I discussed it with her, I suggest she hand the case over to someone else. She assured me that she'd triple her efforts rather than let go of the assignment. That's interesting. Maybe there's some other agenda that Mosley has in order to want to have the pagan assignment, which of course was to outlaw it and to eradicate it. There's a letter here too. That's just the schedule. 7 bells, a stakeout. 12 bells, lunch at the Shoals Gate Tavern. 1 bell, meet with LK. 2 bells, meet with LZ. 8 bells, appointment with Madame Valaris. 10 bells, meet with LR. So that's probably lieutenants here, I'm guessing. Or maybe lady instead. So if you remember back to shipping and receiving, it seems that Truart has some kind of a visit to a brothel-like location there, so those could be ladies. Then there's a readable in the trash can. Letter from Lieutenant Hagen. Sheriff Truart, I must insist that you pay closer attention to the activities of the Warden Affairs Division. I know how highly you regard their work, and I readily admit that they have shown very impressive results. However, I must point out that their arrest records indicate that they have been avoiding certain wardens. Whenever evidence is presented against those wardens, it mysteriously disappears from evidence storage, even though the station guards assure me that no unauthorized evidence leaves the area. Respectfully, Lieutenant Hagen. This is an interesting readable, because it was in the trash can, so it doesn't seem like Truart is taking this too seriously, probably because he knows about it, and he doesn't do anything about it deliberately. So you can't place that back in the actual trash can, but we can probably place it back a little better than that. There you go. So this is the door that is then pickable. That could take us out into the second floor pretty easily, but I'm not going to pick that because we don't have to. We don't have to return to this room at all. So we're going to head back through the secret entrance. So now we're going to have to head upstairs.
Dogs are killing me. Time for a new pair of boots.
Was that down there? That is pretty typical. I was hoping that I could have a clean break here with the patrols, and it seems like I can. Oh, that was the guy up there. Okay. And here's a bottle of wine. $4.75, and this is going to be a little difficult. Seems like a pretty good time to go. Wait a little bit more here. This is narcotics, the narcotics office. Okay. So we have a purse here. Worth 50, total 525.
Let's see what that was.
Just gonna see
I
what
like
it
seeing things
is.
I don't... Stop! In the name of...
Okay, so when he comes back the other way, I probably think we're gonna have to go down. So we have to head into Mosley's office and then into Hagen's office. So we have to go left and then left first, and then across the hall to Hagen's office.
Nobody better.
They hear doors opening a lot better in Thief 2 than they did in Thief 1.
I wanna know. The only thing that makes her cool. Let's see what that was.
I think that was the other guard that walked sideways. Luckily, these are pretty easy to pick. Okay, so this is Mosley's office. Here is the secure records / vault key that we're going to need. Lieutenant, I instructed the mechanists, Brother Artis, to leave you a new key. The key will open the vault as well as the secure records room in the records hall. Sheriff Gorman Truart. That is useful information. Journal. Entry 2234. It's getting harder to protect my garden from harm. So many plants die. No matter how hard I try to protect them, they still fall victim to the elements. No matter what anyone tells me, I will not uproot them or cut them down. I don't know what we are doing here anymore. Half the people I give orders to are people I arrested before. Hopefully the war will be over soon and the Baron will return. I don't think I can take much more of Truart's new age, as Hagen so often puts it. So Mosley is not in favor of Truart's way of doing things, it seems like. There's another readable down here. Letter from Sheriff Truart. Lieutenant Mosley, I put you in charge of handling the pagans because you are my second in command. Until now, your record has been exemplary. I don't understand why your performance has faltered. If you do not want this case to be reassigned to Lieutenant Hagen, I suggest you double your efforts to rid the city of all pagan influence. Also, it has been brought to my attention that numerous small thefts from the evidence vault have been occurring for some time now. Fire the officer that guards the vault. The sentries can handle the security by themselves. I want you to conduct an investigation immediately. Be it so ordered. Sheriff Gorman Truart. Okay. So maybe Truart is interested in that after all. He's just reassigning it to Mosley. So over here's water arrow and another water arrow and then 2 moss arrows as well.
Let's see what I can use against our Lieutenant Hagen.
So here's Hagen's office. There is Lieutenant Hagen's handkerchief. And that checks off to obtain a personal item of his in his office. And his journal. Journal entry 459. So often I hear the whispers of the men. What is the sheriff really planning? Why is he so intent on bringing down the pagans? Maybe the sheriff isn't the man I thought he was. The members of the city watch are filled with doubt. It's my responsibility to see to it that they ignore their doubts. Sheriff Gorman Truart is unlike any man I've ever worked for. He has ushered in a new age, and it's up to us to support him unquestioningly. If Sheriff Truart asked me to arrest my own family, I would without any hesitation. That is dedication, right there. Why can't Mosley see this? She always questions everything. Why can't she just follow Truart's orders? We are not supposed to think, we are supposed to follow. Okay. There's also a letter here. A letter from Sheriff Truart. Lieutenant Hagen, I appreciate your memo regarding the Warden Affairs Division. I have personally investigated the matter and have found no evidence to support your accusation. They have ongoing investigations on the remaining wardens and have made steady progress. They simply don't have enough of a case yet to move against them. As for the missing evidence, my search has determined that they were simply clerical errors. However, I have discovered that several thefts from the vault have recently occurred. These thefts are in no way linked to the Warden Affairs Division. I want you to find out who is responsible. Start making inquiries into the other divisions about stay away from Warden Affairs. Also discuss this with no one, especially Lieutenant Mosley. Mosley's inability to handle the pagans has caused me to question your resolve. I have considered handing over the assignment to you, but given Lieutenant Mosley's excellent past record, I wanted to give her one more chance. Be it so ordered. Sheriff Gorman Truart. I think that pretty much sums it up, that he is definitely in with some of the wardens here. So we're going to head down to the other 2 offices down here. And now this guard is on his way back.
I want to know who came up with the stupid idea of no drinking on duty. About the only thing that makes our coat watch go faster is a nice bottle.
This is Vice. Here's a journal. Journal entry 836. We are still unable to make a case against Madame Villari. Her brothel seems to be perfectly legitimate, but Lieutenant Mosley believes that there is more going on there, and so do I. The likely possibility is that they are using pillow talk to extract information from their rather aristocratic clientele. I can't believe I'm saying this in a journal, but I think that the sheriff is somehow involved in this. I've seen Truart enter there on more than one occasion, but he is But is he a client or is he somehow working with them? All I know is that I'm not going to say a word about this to anyone, especially Lieutenant Hagen. Mosley is the only one any of us can trust. Stack of gold coins and 2 stacks of silver coins, total 574. That guard has a key. A yellow key, it's supposed to be, at least. We need one of those, but it's difficult to return that key, so we're not going to do that.
Didn't do much but be hungry. When do we go after the real villains?
Okay, this is then narcotics. No, sorry, robbery, homicide. Journal here as well. Journal entry 709. Work's been pretty slow these days. Between Mosley and Warden Affairs, every thief in the city is out of business. I can't believe we used to try to stop crime by arresting the thieves. By attacking the bookkeepers and fences, crooks have nowhere to turn to. Besides, who is more anxious about staying out of jail? A criminal or some whiny pencil pusher? There's also a ring back here, I believe. Yep, very small ring, worth 100, total 674.
You hear that?
Alright, so now he's going to come back here, so that's good. We can go there. Yeah, he had a yellow key, you could see that. Okay, and here is nothing. This is evidence storage. This is a pickable door. We don't need to pick that. But I'm going to show you guys something.
Hello. Show yourself. Hello.
So now we are heading up to the 3rd floor, and this is the main stairs. So this is guard post and alarm. That's the room we're looking into right now. And this is actually bringing on my ghost challenge for this mission. It is to get through this room. So there are 2 exits. There's a door in the back there, and then there's the hallway. Get through this room by only spawning first alerts from that guard. Not triggering the camera. You can't get through this without a first alert. So that's why I'm not choosing this direction. Plus it's pretty, unstealthy. Get through this room. Only triggering first alerts from that guard. And then getting into the hallway you can see in the distance there. Shouldn't be too bad, hopefully. These are the guards that had that conversation earlier. Here there's a vase. Total 774. Okay, what are we going to do here? How are we going to do this? See, he's coming there. Probably stay here and wait him out. So we are now in one of the lounges. No, there's the officers' lounges down here, but this is like a waiting room area. Here, sorry. We're going to have to head into the officers' lounge. Right. full candlesticks, total 874, and we're going to have to head in here, and we have to be careful here too, because they can see us through 2 doors. This is the dumbwaiter. Let's actually make a real save here. So on the table here we have 2 loaves of bread and a carrot. There's a guard on either side here actually. Yeah, depends a little bit on where they are. Whether we can get out of here. There's another one from the other side too. This dumbwaiter was in the lower position, so we're good there. I don't think that guy comes all the way in here. Attention! The mechanist, Brother Artis, has informed me that the new security measures will be fully operational tonight. A room in the records hall has been designated for secure records. Only the lieutenants and myself have access. The City Watch ball will be held at Truart's estate. All members of the City Watch are encouraged to attend. The dumbwaiter in the mess hall is not a toy. Please refrain from using it for rides. Sheriff Gorman Truart. So we then arrived in the mess hall, and we are going to head east from this. It's an empty room. So he saw me there. Those doors are so annoying. Shooting range.
Guess I could use some target practice.
Nice, we got triggered Garrett's Q there as well. So in here is obviously a hidden door. And there are 5 broadheads in here. And there's a button that you can push. Like that. Now I do think this door closes on its own. So we can leave through this. No, we're not going to, because I don't think you can close that door afterwards. But anyway, in here, in the armory, there is an invisibility potion. There's a scouting orb, 3 water arrows, a noisemaker arrow, a moss arrow, and that's it. Yeah, it closes on its own. It's just very, very slow.
Strange.
He heard that. I didn't think he alerted to that door since he didn't alert. Okay, it was just a little bit farther away to begin with. Nothing in here. This is the lineup. Oh, now he came back. Okay, so I take back what I said earlier, that this mission is very easy. Cream Ghost, it's not. So this is the stairs up to the records hall in the northeast, and that's a pickable door that you can pick behind him and get in. And this person also has a yellow key that will then access the door to the evidence vault upstairs. We're not going to go there. Instead, we're going to head downstairs. If remember, in the northeast, will take us down to the morgue. This is the pickable door that we did not pick open when we emerged from or came from the basement. So we are now in the far northeast of the basement. So that's how we get to the one piece of loot here. So this is the laboratory. Okay, there's nothing of value in here. Nothing to pick up. And then we have the morgue in here. Here there is something to pick up. First, there's a purse on this corpse.
He won't need that anymore.
That is true, Garrett. That's worth 100, so total 974. And a report. Coroner's report. Identification unknown. Location, body discovered in sewage tunnel. Cause of death, pagan worship. Okay. Then we can head back up. Now, this is the main office, right here. And here are a few things. There is a water arrow and a readable behind this pillar. Nobody comes in here, but they pass outside. Water arrow and a journal of some sort. Paganism. Grieve Street paganism. Courtyard Trail paganism, Balma Drive paganism, pagan sympathy, Pearson Manor harboring a pagan, Dano Block paganism, Kimmel Avenue paganism, assault, Fort Street assault class A, Fort Street assault crossbow usage, Arlen Avenue assault class A, and Bisbee Drive assault North Bisbee Drive, I assume, assault class C, Glenover Drive aggravated assault and dagger display, Gapoda Oak assault class C.
Hello?
Okay. So that we gotta avoid. So there are a total of 3 things we're reading. And there's one piece of loot as well. 4 things we're reading, apparently. Burglary. East Park Boulevard, burglary of carriage, horses taken 800. Hawkins Drive, burglary of manor, gold crest taken 2300. Criminal mischief. Gorn Avenue, criminal mischief 300 damage. Crippleburg pub, criminal mischief, patron thrown through window 500. North Crest Road, criminal mischief to collector tower 250. Millens Drive, criminal mischief to street lamp 25 damage. Here's a statue worth 15. Lucy Walker. The watch officers have received a number of complaints about your harassment of the alchemist Grimmet. Out of consideration for your masters, you have not been placed under arrest yet. Please keep in mind that any further trouble may result in arrest and confiscation of property. For a safe city, Watch Officer Morgan. Interesting. There is a scroll. Kick me. Okay, well that we can't really place back there, so I'm not going to bother taking that. Don't think there is anything else to pick up here. No, there isn't. But there is a secret that is very important. And that is up... Oh, where am I? Here. Here.
Ah, a hidden entrance.
I'm gonna close that just so we don't get spotted here. And then the other side also counts as a secret, I believe. Yeah, so there's 2 secrets in one here. I'm not sure if that was intended, but... book on the other side that opens it. So now we have actually come up to the records hall, and there are no patrollers, no enemies up here. So that's good. This door's open and just leads to an empty records room. And this is the secure records. So here we have to use the secure records vault key. So here we have a few important things. Maintenance. The vault security can be disabled for minor repairs. Simply enter the proper code and the sentries will shut off. The sentries of the cameras. The maintenance code is 4026. Now we don't need that code to turn off the cameras. That's actually not allowed for Supreme. We just need that code to open the door, because it also opens the door. So we'll see. We'll talk about that when we get up there.
I should write that down.
Yes, I just did, Garrett.
Now, on to the vault.
Okay. So here are two readables. Name, Lady Van Vernon. Activity, frequent adultery. Threat, her husband is very jealous and easily outsmarted. If her husband discovers her infidelity, she stands to lose her comfortable lifestyle. Should Lord Van Vernon throw her out into the streets of Dayport. Use, Lord Van Vernon owns a large number of factories. Our lady could help us cut a deal with him for weapons and armor for City Watch. So they're using the knowledge they have on her to sort of blackmail her husband. Name, Lord Manny Ramstein. Activity, embezzling money from his business partner overseas. Threat, his business partner has 2 of the city's top cleaners on retainer. Use, Ramstein is a very powerful importer. By keeping him under our control, we can use him to get to larger criminal activity. Similar thing there. Okay, so now we have the code. So now we can leave. We can't return that key yet because we need that to get into the vault itself. Because there's a door in the vault after you use the code. Okay, I think there is another secret right here. There. So that is simply a secret that takes us from the main office out into the hall here. So that's not one you need, but I wanted to get all the secrets. And what's good is that you can close all the secrets again. Let's head in here. Let's make another little save. In here there is a flash bomb. I think it's back here. Yep, it's in the corner there. Two guards out here. See, we're just looking into the different rooms here. This is the locker room.
I should be able to find something in here.
Let's see what's in here. Healing potion. Nothing. Nothing. Looks like a flash bomb here. Nothing. And nothing. This is a noisemaker arrow. Another healing potion. And nothing else. So So barracks, here are a couple of footlockers. I don't think there's any loot in here. One of them is pickable and contains a flash bomb. I think this one contains a moss arrow. Okay, there's more footlockers, so some of them are empty. But there's no loot in any. But there is a moss arrow and a flash bomb in 2 of these. This is the restroom, and here is a water arrow. So now we've moved along these rooms. Let's see.
Did you hear that?
They're on their way elsewhere, so let's just hang back for a few seconds. A little bit more. So now we're out in the actual, close to the main entrance area. Okay, so in here there are 3 water arrows. We're gonna have to sneak in behind her. I think we can do that because we have to go back upstairs now. We have to go back up here because we have to get up to the 3rd floor evidence storage, and the only way to do that with that going through the main staircase is to go up through the Warden Affairs, and the staircase then will take us up there again. Luckily on the way back down we can drop off the items that we need to these offices and then head out. So we don't have too much left. Good timing. Let's see where these are at now.
Who's there?
Yeah, so we have to dodge her. And I'm actually going to do that by standing over here, because you can see everybody and you're in the doorway and you're completely dark. We have to wait for that guard to come over here, and then when she turns around we can go, but I don't know if that fits with this patrol. I don't know. We might be able to do it here. I have to save. I'm not sure if this will work. There's a guard in the distance there, and he might see us as we go past here. I'm going to save it for sure and see if this works. This is tough. This is not something you'd be able to do on one shot, so...
Getting tired of going after these poor slobs. Didn't do much but be hungry.
That didn't sound like rats.
I don't think that guy alerts. Let me test it with this guy here first.
Let's see what that was.
So I hear him pretty easily.
Joran, that you?
timing here can be very bad, and then it is not possible to do this.
What?
Yeah, and now she's turning around there.
I'll just put in the hours if you want the promotions.
Who's over?
You've messed with the wrong man, thief! Drop your weapons, tough!
I don't think that he saw me. I think it's because I'm going so slow. I think we did it there.
What?
So we have to do that, dodge her as she turns.
I don't like
This is one of those moves that should take some tries, and we were extra unlucky now with that.
Say again?
Extra unlucky with the controls there. There. Warden Affairs Division. Okay. Here's a journal. Entry 1022. I still can't figure out who the hell is robbing the third floor evidence vault. I mean, if it ain't us, then who the hell is it? All I know is that it's attracting a lot of unnecessary attention. I've told the rest of the crew to take the long way to the third floor. Hagen is already suspicious of us as it is, even though the sheriff will keep him off our backs. I still don't want to get Hagen's bad side. That idiot really thinks that Truart is some kind of hero. Ha, if you only knew what we know. So there is something more to Truart, and where he's probably covering up the warden's discrepancies in the books. Okay, so we have to flip this and find a secret entrance.
Ah, a back door.
That goes up to... I have had problems with this. There, okay, we'll close those when we go back down. So, there's a guard here somewhere. To see where he is right now.
Who's there?
He's on his way towards us. Okay. How did it see me there? I was completely black. I do think that the texture updates do change the light gem some, where it seems darker than it is. Now he's going away. Okay. Well, that's good if he can do that. I thought he was coming towards me. Now he is coming towards me, so there might be a point in his patrol where he can turn around. Anyway, we are now on the third floor. The side rooms here are completely empty. This room is important because there we can access the side door to the ante-room easily. This is where I had the ghost challenge with the front counter. So we have to take a key from him so that we can unlock this door. We have the code, we have the key to get into the vault, which is here, and we have the handkerchief that we're leaving. did not know he turned around there. Does he do that every time? Seems like it. Okay. Have to follow him back then. Camera cannot see us right underneath here. Headed back, it looks like. This is the door that requires the key. Okay. So here is the code. I'm gonna... Is there a light here that turned on? It turns off and on. Okay. Alright. So, when we turn the code 4026, the door will open and the cameras inside will shut off. What we can do, there is a lever that we can flip right inside that keeps the door open. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the code, and then I'm going to reset the code so that the cameras turn on, and then block the door open so that we only use this code to gain access through the door. So that has been allowed. There are several other people that have said that that's acceptable, because even though for Supreme you're not allowed to turn off cameras, we are not doing this to turn off cameras, and we are turning the cameras back on right away. So we're not using that to our advantage whatsoever. It's just a part of the design for both of those things to happen at the same time. We only need to have one thing happen. So we're not using that to our advantage whatsoever. So that should work. It's not a Supreme bust, this. So here are the cameras. So we can't have the camera stay like that. We have to wait and time the camera. So here's that. So they close automatically, so we have to... Okay. We have to wait a little bit before we do that code then, I think. There we go, I think that's good. There.
I'd better do this quick.
Directly under the camera, they can't see us. We have closed the door now. There we go. In here there are 2 rings, 2 stacks of silver coins, 2 statues, 2 stacks of copper coins, and a tiara. 1378 is max loot, that's what we're gonna take. Here's the strong box, and that's what we need to leave in Hagen's office, and we need to leave our handkerchief here. That checked off that objective as well. Okay, what do we need to do now? Well, we need to leave, of course. And we need to make sure that... this locked. We gotta... there. So is that right? When I pushed the code, the door opened, and then when I flipped it again, it didn't close. No, it closed. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good there. That lever might not be in the right position right now, but that doesn't matter. We have closed the door. That's what the rule is requiring. I don't think there's a way to reset that anyway. Drop that here on his patrol route. That key.
Who's making that noise?
That's actually pretty good timing. So we have to dodge her now and dodge the other guard going back. So that is going to be the troublesome thing to do. Make a real save there. I just want to check that I have everything I need to have. Yeah, that should be good. We return the yellow key, and we need to return the vault key and the strong box. So the vault key goes to Mosley's office, and the strong box in Hagen's office.
Have all these codes for things. Why do I have to say code 8 and really need some guy punching some other guy? Truart. You're under arrest! Tap!
This is very good timing, by the way.
Thought this would be a cushier job than on private guard duty. Shows what I know. The sheriff's just as bad as those blue bloody nobles. Except he doesn't even know how to kick back and take it easy. Go napping on duty. What?
I remember that. We bump into the banner. I did that same thing last time. No, this wasn't the... That wasn't the right office. He heard me there too. I gotta be a little bit slower. I think speed here is just the key.
Something there?
Man, this was tougher than I thought. I can make this. I know I'm going to make this.
What's there?
They have a very good vision over there.
Something there?
Come on, come on, come on, come on. way for them to see it. So I'm now in Hagen's office, so we should be able to drop the strong box here.
Time to go.
That checks that off. Well, it's not time to go just yet.
Let's see what...
Oh. Come on. Why couldn't I save it when I came into the old room there? Leave that open, actually.
Time to go.
There. And then we can go to...
Let's see what that was.
Nobody's there. Okay. There, now we just need to head down the stairs. Let's see, so we're gonna head down here now. We're gonna come down here. The easiest way to leave now would actually be to get to the courtyard, because you can just drop down into the water and then you end the mission. So we're probably just gonna have to head a left and then out here.
Better not be the sergeant checking.
So I was worried if he actually did alert at all. He does. Or actually, we can probably just do this, and then we are out. Nice. That was, as far as I could tell, a perfect Supreme Ghost of Framed. Thief 2 Mission 3. And we found all secrets. Let's go through it. 40 minutes, 50 seconds, 1378 loot out of 1378. Pockets picked 1 out of 3. That was the key, the yellow key in the top floor. Locks picked 4. That's as low as I could get it. No backstabs, no knockouts, no damage dealt taken or healing taken, no innocents killed or others killed, no Iron Beast destroyed or disabled. 9 out of 9 secrets. Campaign totals, time so far 2 hours, 25 minutes, 0 seconds. Loot so far 3968. Total damage dealt is 8. That's from the 8 knockouts from running interference. Good. So yeah, this mission is pretty low on my list. I give it a 63%. That might seem excessively low, but it has not aged very well. It is, you know, if you don't ghost, it is obnoxiously simple. Because, or if you don't Supreme Ghost, because you don't have to worry about first alerts. There's, you know, it's very non-linear, which is good, but that also makes it very easy to travel through. If you know the mission, it is very easy, which means that it does not really motivate you to replay it. First time through, I guess it's good. I don't remember my first time through this mission. It's been so many years. It sets up the story very nicely and gives you insight into the characters in the City Watch and how they have links to probably the underground in the city, and also the resistance from Truart to the pagan faction, or the pagan worship, which will obviously be more important later in the mission. So yeah, 63%, which is just below Bafford's for me. And Bafford's was, I think, the 4th lowest mission in Thief Gold for me. So yeah, this one is not very high, but there are, unfortunately, some missions that are lower than this in the game too. But there are some very good ones. There's one good one coming up in not too long. The bank, I think, is pretty good. So that's one of the better ones. Awesome. Okay, so then I do have a couple of other missions that I wanted to do before we get to mission 4, either of Thief 2 or T2X. So, and I have those ready to record, so we'll see. Hopefully it won't be too long until I get those done. So if you guys enjoyed this, leave me a comment, like, and subscribe if you want to. I always appreciate that. Until next time, you guys have a good day.